Let's bring in my panel now. Liberal Senator for South Australia, Alex Antic, and Spectator columnist, Terry Barnes. Gents, welcome. We'll start, if we can, Terry, with a big protest in Melbourne today. Interestingly, a unionist, very powerful unionist, Peter Marshall, the head of the Firefighters Union, this is the Career Firefighters Union, in front of the crowd today, and he made it really clear that he didn't want firefighters, their name used in vain. He says this money being raised is not about funding fire services. It's a tax grab by our government. And I tell you, those scenes of the city at a standstill took me right back to my uni days in the Kane and Kerner era when we had trams queued up all the way around the Melbourne CBD and the state belly up bankrupt almost. You know, we'd lost the state bank, we're in a whole lot of trouble. And that anger then was the sort of anger I saw today.
Well, absolutely. And really it has that end of days feeling down here in Melbourne, doesn't it, Peter? But certainly Peter Marshall, as the leader of the Firefighters Union, friend of Daniel Andrews, actually got Daniel Andrews to overturn and upturn the fire service in Victoria to suit his members, has now gone rogue. I mean, he's actually making the point. He's actually standing up for the country firefighters, the CFA firefighters that he tried to dud 10 years ago. And because that fire services levy is absolutely disgraceful. I mean, as you said earlier in the program, it's actually taxing people for volunteering to help their own communities. I think if Brad Batten and the Victorian Liberals can actually keep their nerve and repeal it, and promise to repeal it, and follow through if they're elected, they're doing the right thing. And
fight on it. That'll be the test, and fight on it. Hey, Alex Antic, you are the only one on this panel who was a member of the coalition, now is just a member of the Liberal Party in opposition, although you are the official opposition party. What do you make of the events today in Canberra?
Well, Peter, I was surprised, I have to say. I was shocked. But look, here we are. We're 2 weeks out from a pretty bad election result, and there are going to be, I think, ructions and repositionings that should probably be expected. But this is an 80-year coalition, which, at least in the short term, has been brought to a close this morning, and that's a sad thing. I don't really know. I wasn't privy to any of the discussions or the details, but I understand it was a decision of the Nationals for various reasons. I suspect one of them is energy policy, but I don't really know. From our point of view, of course, yes, the Liberal Party is the official party of opposition now, but it's a good reminder to the party that, and I have said this time and time again, that we have to be cognizant of the sort of things that rural and regional communities are interested in. We are, I think, but we have some very good rural and regional members. But issues like net zero are the sort of battleground, I think, which the Liberal Party now needs to roll up the sleeves and fight on and reject. And so to the extent that, it requires a bit of repositioning and a resisting of drifting towards simply appealing inner city seats, look, that may well be something that needs to be taken into account and considered.
I made the point, and I'll bring Terry in on this, I made the point that I've done 3 of these coalition agreements or been in the room when they're negotiated in the past, but also coming out of election defeats, so 7, 2010 and beyond, it's always been the way that every policy stands unless it's specifically repudiated. What Susan Lee is doing differently this time is saying, well, nothing stands. We don't have any policies out there until after the review, and we'll restate them. Now, I don't know how you survive opposition like that. You'll be back in Parliament soon. There'll be bills to deal with. You're not going to run everything through your shadow cabinet. You've got to have some parameters there. And if the biggest one of those, the sticking point here today, was nuclear energy, I mean, seriously, Terry, are the Libs saying that they're prepared to junk their position on nuclear? Because if they are, I think they're in all sorts of trouble.
Well, it certainly sounds to me like that, Peter, that they're prepared to actually go to war over it. And that's a real worry. And my sense also is that given that the Liberal Party MPs are very jealous of their sovereignty over policy in terms of dictating to the party what that policy is, and if the moderates have a majority in the current party room, I mean, this could be on for young and old. But the other thing about breaking the coalition, I think the Nats could have waited. They could have actually gone a bit before they took this step. But because I think one thing that the National Party has always done is with its innate conservatism. It's been a brake on the if you like, the socially liberal and frolics of the Liberal Party, particularly the left of the Liberal Party. So without them being there in the coalition, what's going to happen over the next little while? I really fear for the Liberal Party.
Alex, I'm just about out of time, but I made the point earlier that Germany today has dropped its official opposition to nuclear. Just at the time, the Libs can't say whether they're for or against it. They were for it two weeks ago, for or against it. The Nats are for it. What happens if the Liberal Party wants to dump it? What are you going to do?
Well, I've been supportive of nuclear since day one. I talked about it in my maiden speech, and I'll continue to advocate for it in line with a whole range of different energy policies. I mean, it's not just nuclear, as Matt Canavan always said when he was in the coalition party room. It's not just nuclear. We need to be using all of our resources, and we'll continue to advocate for that.
All right, I'll leave it there. Thank you both very much.